Thank you for visiting. We really appreciate it. It's Halloween 2023. This is Glenn Lyvers here with the Prolific Press Poets. It's a pleasure to have everybody here. This will be a shorter event, so to hold on to your socks. Who knows what's going to happen? We're going to get started with Lena Esposito.
Hello, happy Halloween to everybody. Okay. Oh, here I am. All right, I have a couple little poems. The Bone Shaker. Little ghost voices whisper with chilled breath. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I shiver when their cold admonition echoes in the dark. Afraid, afraid, afraid. Nothing can warm me. That's it. The second one is All Saints Night on the riverbank. The river sneaks along the shore, a slick silver ghost, its cold, wet skin scraping pebbles from the rich black dirt that holds the yellow grass. Silence in the indigo night folds over, shadows playing under the hunter moon, like unknown figures witching the water to let go its secrets.
Very nice. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, I'm going to share a piece. Recently heard this song. Now, I know that people have probably all know this song, but I just only became aware of it. It's by an artist called Toby Keith, and it's called Don't Let the Old Man In It. And I liked it so much that I thought I would write a poem in that sort of, that style. Gave him a little tip of the hat down here after Toby Keith. This is new. It's called Don't Let the Old Man In, from a tattered journal you found in the cellar. For my whole life, I knew he would be knocking, the old man, evil in his ways. And so it is, my son, that I have left you this note, not advice, a warning, and maybe all I learned in this life. Don't let the old man in. He will come for short visits at first. Maybe you glimpse him in the mirror or hear him muttering about money. And he tries to make you think he's a friend, the old man with an abundance of wisdom, but he is no friend, dear son. Don't let the old man in. Soon he will try to trip you on the stairs and jerk your razor as you shave. And he tries to press you into the bed so that you'll never get up again. And just as you settle in for the night, he beckons you to the bathroom, and he dims the lights a little so you might stumble on the laundry. And then this unwelcome guest decides he's moving in. He even has keys, the old man you barely recognize. And then the food goes sour. No more pizza and beer late at night. He hides your wallet anyway. Don't let the old man in. Try to lock the windows and doors. Invite your friends over to make noise. Loud, wallering toddlers are best. Try to make your unwelcome visitor ill at ease so he doesn't want to stay. But if he does try to reside in your home, dear boy, you've got to get out if you can. And it doesn't matter where you go, just get out of that possessed house. Sit on a bench at the college, maybe. Read a book where the women walk by. Glance at their legs, maybe, just a peek. While you have a piece of candy, and tell all your old dad jokes to the wind. What you do doesn't matter. Just don't let the old man in. Okay, so somebody coming in to sit down. And we'll do Gloria Caviglia next, please.
Hi, thank you, Glenn. That was Toby Keith's one of my favorites, so thank you very much. This is called I Hate Halloween. Imagine, if you will, stay with me here, Imagine a world where it's the middle of August and you are at the beach enjoying the hot sun, warm waves, sounds of children splashing, smells of copper tone, and no mention at all of pumpkin spice anything. Pumpkin muffins, pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin spice coffee, pumpkin donuts, pumpkin spice signature lattes, nutty pumpkin coffee, pumpkin swirl, pumpkin cake donut, munchkins, pumpkin dessert treats, goldfish, pumpkin spice grams. Oh, how I yearn for summer. But wait, it is summer. Why are my summer sensibilities being infiltrated? Ghosts and ghouls, witches and warlocks no longer exist in this pumpkin spice universe. It's a marvelous world of characters, courtesy of Spirit Halloween pop-up stores. They dress up in their finery, but it is not to run from yard to yard on grass wet from the cool evening dew. Oh no, but rather to go into a parking lot where cars are parked, trunks are opened, and responsible adults hand out store-bought, hermetically sealed candy to each individual. Oh, the pity of it all. Whatever happened to candy corn in a little paper bag, an apple covered in an electric red hard shell, a popcorn ball in wax paper? Whatever happened to the thrill of waiting until dark to travel the neighborhood alone, cheap flashlight and bag in hand? Gone, all gone. There is no joy in that spookiest of seasons in my cosmos, and I will never cave into pumpkin spice.
Thank you. That was so good. Do you have another? Not for today. Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, we're going to move to Alexandra Coates, please.
I have only one poem, Wild Geese. The wild geese stood watching as the coffin glided past them, gliding home past the clear blue water and the bugle salutations. Then silent attention to the story's ending, to letting go the narrative, to liberty and no return.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you for that. I love the inflection in her voice. It was really drawing me in. I was like, oh, what's going to happen? She's a good reader. James Bethel, please.
I had to find my mute button. I have two poems for Halloween. If I can hold them. The first one is entitled Immaculate Reconception. Norma Erica strains, and with her partner Calliope conjures Halloween at a midnight costume party on an island in Maine, where the very idea of soul was originally conceived. An ape officiates, wearing Johnny Weissmuller's jungle gym jeans. The groom, a conehead in whiteface, marries a divorced nun, while the devil, masturbating his tail, laughs at the assemblage. Toulouse-Lautrec and Jerry Garcia lead the singing. Lohengrin was hired to grin, and Mendelssohn, third on the card to dance with Shakespeare, is searching for his violin. Roddy McDowell calls for objections, and a line forms in protest of such rash individuation as this mid-post-millennium decision. Father, bless these rings by God, Sarducci, remember him, is blessing the rings, among other things. Everyone will eat the devil's food and spew imported happiness all over the retrofitted summer cottage. Such a perfect party. A celebration of the immaculate reconception of alien souls. Nobody will know anybody, no matter how close they get, and won't take the time to care. And this one is one that was published in the fall 2021 issue of Poetry Quarterly. Thank you, Glenn. The title is Wrapped, with a W. Wrapped in a Witch Dreaming. This long fall sings Halloween songs to the witch of November who sleeps yet Dreaming of death, she wonders at the sensation of awakening. Hear her there, breathing whispers of last leaves falling through pine. Enchantment by gray-green fog breath, sop-wet yellow maple high tide, storm-tossed commuters chatter, confused by the sudden rush of midday warmth. The air, sticky with every conceivable thing, enshrouds a still hopeful mother peering into the crowd for the child who has yet to discover she is missing. Exactly 1/2 mile away, island young spruce stand in a sacred circle beneath a sentinel, just like those school children wrapped in their listening to some Sleepy Hollow legend. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Very well done. Everybody seems to be in the spirit.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Let's go to Peter Yaremko.
Good afternoon. The first one I wanted to read is called Blossom and Wither. And I took it from that line in Job where he says that we blossom like flowers and then we wither. It was published in Scarlet Leaf Review a couple of years ago. Why do we bury our dead on their backs? Never on tummies, cheek upon tucked up arm. Danger of drool, perhaps. Seldom on sides or seats, as far as I know, no. Always on their backs. To consider the sky, do you think, and kill time watching for cloud pareidolia? Blossoms in mama's womb, they were bottoms up, the babies, that is. Now, caskets, coffins, crypts, rock-hard names for loamy births with sateen pillows to cradle winter-cold skulls. They wither beneath unheard whispers in obverse mimicry of incubation, forever on their backs. And the second one is called November Water. It was in the Avalon Review. Darkening autumn is falling fast on summer-spent days. No more younglings at play long into the dusk, their heated yelling in the faraway. All gone home, the bankside rock, once too hot to sit upon, cold as concrete now, cold as koi. I yearn to fatten them against winter abstinence, to glut their bellies against lonesome hibernation. But already desultory in November water, they disdain my charity, their hearts beating down tempo to catch the cadence of mine. Thank you.
Thank you. Very well done. Very, very nice. One person coming in here. There's Sean. How you doing?
How you doing, folks? Sorry I'm late.
That's
Welcome,
okay.
sir.
We're very happy to have you.
Yeah.
Bob Moreland is next.
Well, not a lot of Halloween poems, and the second one will be a little dark. This is called Nocturne. It's a tetractus, and if you want to know what a tetractus is, you can go to that link and look it up in the forms. But basically, it reads straight. So here you go. Unless you could see it, and I can't share my screen. Nocturne. Still quiet of twilight, garden spider splayed, web kingdom tied to a hanging pot. Viola's gone to seed, died in the first chill. One last purple face blooming clings to life. Lone coyote lifts his song as chorus joins, celebrating fresh kill on the prairie. Earthy smell of fresh-cut grasses carries on the faint west wind. Alone, rejoice here. Warm autumn evening royals, winter postponed, mortality the last thought on one's mind. Sun-dappled reds, oranges eclipse fall, zephyrs convey countless leaves floating down. So that's a fall poem. Now, about 3 weeks ago tomorrow, I almost died. Very interesting experience. And this poem is actually called Valley of the Shadow, and the epigram comes from the 23rd Psalm. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Psalm 23, 3 and 5, King James. Often, so much is taken for granted in this brief life. We plan 10 years out, schedules full, assuming warm and well fed, all will be perfect. Then comes that doubt, a shadow, a smudge. Day surgery, twist as the 1 in 1,000 occurs. Health so long granted evaporates like mist, becoming edema, life ebbing stealth. My friend praying to keep me in this life, dank shadow of death, tendrils tighten, then releasing. He, capital H, takes trembling hand, strife, carrying me to the light. Fear dissolves, lightens. Now what? Alive again, miracles odd, rethink my life, thanking a loving God. Thank you.
Thank you. It's really interesting. Mary Gunn, you're up next. I believe that's you on the phone. But I'm going to read one in the middle. I will say that if you are not a religious person, but you are a lover of poetry, Psalms is amazing. I mean, it is beautiful. The language is just gorgeous. And also Khalil Gibran, I think is his name. He is a religious writer whose poetry is just amazing, just gorgeous. Um, I don't think he's a Christian. Maybe, I don't know. But I read some of his work. It's really good. So you just kind of reminded me that I was asked to do this death poem. An old student that I went to college with asked me if I still had it. So I'm going to do that for this reading real quick, and then we'll go to Mary. Mary, is that you on the phone?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, we'll be with you in just a second here. You
Okay.
bear with me. This kind of goes, I'm only kind of fitting this in behind your poem here, Bob, because it seems like it sort of matches up or comes along. It's called Death Passes By. It's one of the earliest pieces that I wrote. Death passes by in cars, on trains, 100 times each day. He gets off at any number of stops, and people never know it, but they just missed him by a moment. A moment when a streetlight malfunctions, a moment when the brakes fail, a moment when the wheels fall off. If they only knew how a moment could change it all, any moment, every day. Death is biding his time, going about his business. He presses his oilskin jacket, morning, night, when it wrinkles a little. always looking grand when he takes you. Death has no mustache to twirl, no vocal cords to cackle, no eyes with which to stare. His bones are not fleshy, and he is diminished by what he lacks. Nerves, missing, heartless, like a machine is less than a man, than a mouse, than any living thing. Death drifts an inch off the ground, sometimes flying first class, sometimes lifting off with a shuttle, leaving the earth. Death is just death, without fanfare, without rockets, without special effects. Death travels like we do, never needing a ticket to ride, sure, stoic, often wanting more legroom. The bus stops at the hospital. Inside, 100 bowls of jello shake and quiver as he picks over them. People in storage wait in each room, little parking spaces waiting for him. Easy enough, he separates the bodies from the cocoons, fruit from the pits. His scythe falls, driving with precision, often with a rattle. He lingers, sometimes silently passing by moments, by mere moments. Okay, well, thank you. Appreciate that. Mary Gunn.
Thanks, Glenn, and hello to everybody else there. I've just got one haiku for you. It's, here goes. Bagging the leaves in compostable sacks, clocks going back tonight. Bagging the leaves in compostable sacks, clocks going back tonight. An earlier version of that was published in an anthology by the British Haiku Society back in 2020. I don't have a second one. Hello?
Can we hear it again?
Sorry, did you not
Mary?
hear it? No?
Oh, I am so sorry. I thought I was talking and I was muted. Mary. Yeah, could you read it one more time? I think somebody asked for that.
Did you hear me at all? No?
I did. I heard you.
Okay. Bagging the leaves in compostable sacks, clocks going back tonight. And I'll read it again. Bagging the leaves in compostable sacks, clocks going back tonight.
Thank you. Very
An
nice.
earlier version of that was published by the British Haiku Society in a members anthology.
Thank you for that. And good to have you back.
Thank you. Yes, I haven't been talking to you for a while.
Yeah, I missed you. Thank you. Your friend Sean is here too, so he'll be finishing up the event here in a little while. Linda Embler,
Yes,
please.
I heard him joining. Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you, Mary. Is Linda here?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, the first poem I'm going to read is one that deals with, Halloween's kind of supposed to be spooky and scary and all that, but there are real life horrors out there. And this refers to one of those. It's called Lycanthropy. The moon waxes and night falls, as does his mood. The transition begins with the first sip of moonshine. The gentle nature of her snuggle bunny transforms. It devolves quickly from subtle to noisy. Words now have teeth, spoken from behind fangs that bite with brutish nips. His howling and growling, snarling, roaring beast emerges. He beats his chest and pounces. Claws his hands, once gentle, twist arms and hair and her gut. Emotions bounce off walls and she follows. Confusion reigns, and the animal stink of both prey and predator grows stronger as she learns to fear the rising of the moon and the raising of the bottles. This second one is kind of a tribute to one of my favorite writers, Edgar Allan Poe. I love all things Poe, and so this one's kind of in his honor. It's called Poe's Annabel Lee. I figured it would go along with what we're doing. And by the way, this is really good stuff tonight. I mean, I am so impressed with everybody's stuff. And Bob, I'm so glad you're okay. Poe's Annabel Lee. Dearly departed, your face fitted inside an ornate filigree frame. Your feathered hat surrounds a raw-boned face. Your shoulders hold a filmy wrap of satin and lace. Skeletal fingers shift in the light on graceful hands. Velvet gloves clasped as you, the lost lover, endure your woeful waiting as the pendulum clock ticks on the wall, and you hoard his books while you anticipate his arrival. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice. Okay. Sometimes after a person reads a piece like that, there's a moment you just sort of want to let it resonate with you for a second, right? You just kind of like, there's this white space in your heart. You just want to let it just vibrate with that energy. And then I have to say, okay, now we're moving on to, to the next piece. Sometimes it feels like I'm betraying your work, and I'm sorry because that was just so good and really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Doug Van Hooser, please.
Hi, everyone. I've got two poems I'm going to read. The first one's titled A Poet's Dictionary. The definitions of many words are not brine before smoking, such as limerence, the state of infatuation or obsession with another person. Actually, limerence is a fig that hasn't been peeled and eaten. Somnolence is a hammock, head over the face, in a desultory afternoon. Insight is eating the fruit, leaving the pit. Pinot is a BLT without the bacon. Perilous is anger, pulling the trigger. Odios, a conversation with your sister about her divorce. Disappointment is a carcass, regret a banana peel, expectation a comb over. Hope, a whetstone. Memory, a catalog of lost and found. Excuses, a rip current. Fear, a polluted moat. Disgust, a sunburned, glistening pate. A wound is words you cannot take back. An apology, a red sky sunset. Surrender, a starless night. Poets should unite, an apple tree grafted with different varieties, and submit golden delicious Macintosh, Cortland, Granny Smith, Honeycrisp, and Gallo revisions to Merriam-Webster to create a new edition deeper than the moonlight's reflection on the ocean. All icebergs hidden, just the ripples whispers. And the second poem is titled Fantasia. If I was a real writer, I would not undress you with my eyes. I'd have a story and Pied Piper you. My charm a beignet, my insouciance a roofie, you, a duckling, would imprint on me. You would double pike from the cliff and slip without a splash into my cool blue water. Your smile and laughter rise like bread dough, the sparkle in your eyes a Milky Way, your lips hunger a honeycomb. My arms would lift you from the floor, your arms and legs wrap me in a spider web. Our furnace overheat the room, steam the windows. We'd pirouette and fouette. I'd be a sundae, you a spoon. Like addiction, you would look to me for your fix, purr and rub against my words, consume me in small bites, chew thoroughly, never sated. You would wave from the other side of the road, cross without looking, and at the end, tears in your voice, you would leave me. Thank you.
Thank you. That was really nice. I'm just going to read the upcoming roster so people sort of know where they're going to fit in and behind whom. So we're going to move on in a few minutes here to Francis Flavin, then Carol Casey, Michael Watterson, Robert Whalen, Carol Lee, Sean O'Connor. If you haven't read and I didn't just read your name, please let me know. Somebody said great summary or very much Poe. Yeah, you know, I was picking up on the Poe thing there during that reading. And did anybody remember like reading Poe when you were kids? Like that was the thing, right? That was like one of our first introductions. I remember my dad reading the Annabelle Lee poem. You know, I was a child and she was a child in our kingdom by the sea, and we loved with a love that was more than a love. I and my Annabelle Lee. But he was like into it, you know what I mean? And it was theater at home before we all became TV junkies or whatever, you know. It's great. I'm glad you picked that. And I was thinking of Poe earlier. I didn't when I picked the password for the group, I kind of assumed somebody would hit on that theme. And it's just wonderful. Good memories, right? Good memories. And it's funny that I went back and read some of his work last year, and it's strange how at different phases of your life you read the same work and you get different things out of it. You guys understand that? You know what I mean with that? Yeah. And it's good, you know. It quotes the Raven nevermore. Yeah, absolutely. Really good. Okay. Francis Flavin, please.
Greetings, everyone. I kind of painted up for my first poem and didn't realize that when the paint dried, I would have a hard time smiling or even talking. So please bear with me. First poem's called Revenant Dawn. The witch of November arrived on cue, her gale force winds effacing the fall tableau, leaving only spectral trees in her roiling wake. Departing, she swept the last remnants of Halloween into the looming darkness. But fall is a fickle season, and as new day dawned, wisp of cotton clouds under a baby blue sky heralded the return of ancestral souls and a gossamer reunion in light. The second poem, I have to apologize to all you Poe people. I had two possible poems. Both of them were mildly insulting, I guess, to Poe. This one's called, and it's just for fun, published only between my ears, Feathered Elegy. The sky is full of starlings, the fields are full of crows. The songbirds have departed before the cold winds blow. The thrush has left the woodland, the robin split the scene. Now upon the forest floor the quail and pheasants preen. The cheery notes of mating once thrilled us in the spring, but now the nests are empty, you cannot hear a thing. Silent is the firmament, and gone is Emily's hope. The birds outside the window can only grunt and croak. For Keats and Shelley's songbirds, all left before the snow, we are left in the dark, cold heart of Edgar Allan Poe. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't think you are in danger of offending anyone here. After all, Poe folks don't expect much. Boo! I'm getting some thumbs down for that bad pun. Okay. Carol Casey, please.
Well, hi. My apologies, but I just received my very first book that I put out, and I got the proof for it. It's called What Can Happen. And I'm just so excited about reading something from it that I'm going to depart from the like eldritch type Halloween stuff, there are 2 fall poems in here. This is a fairly, it's got my lighter work in it because it's dedicated to my father, who's 100 years old, and I wanted to have it ready before he died. And so I didn't want to put anything in it that would upset him. So anyways, this first one's called Candle Dreams. No geese on the pond today. My ears keen for their almost comical cacophony. Life is in the sky, somewhere to the south. Death is in the blizzard fulcrum of cold and time-stretched nights stark on frozen ground. Left behind to stumble in the dark, our little totems forge perfect themselves, pivot out of candle dreams, flicker, falter. It's time to kindle a kindness beside each fear. Feed cardinals and other tiny lamps that stay and face the winter storms. So, and that was first published in Inscribed Journal. And my second one is called Deciduous, for obvious reasons, and it was first published in the Curator. Some leaves fall like blessings. Some leaves fall like tears. Some leaves fall like missives dispatched from sun to earth, amalgamating dreams to dance upon the breeze. Some leaves fall like dreams that gravity has caught. Some dreams catch in webs or nets, become commodities. Some dreams catch in hearts and minds, flames for hungry souls. Some flames feed the darkness. Some flames feed the cold. Some dreams catch a flame, blaze a moment, then feed earth. Some flames feed a passion that grows into a dream. Some dreams fall like leaves. Some flames catch on dreams. Some dreams flame like falling leaves, catch the wonder of the sun, bless the darkness and the cold, feed the soul of earth.
Wow, that's great, and congratulations on that. When I post this to the Facebook group, after, this reading is done, I tend to take the video from the reading and put it on the Prolific Press Facebook page. So I would encourage you to go to the comments section and post a link to your book wherever it may be available. And I will happily pick one up, I know that. Okay, Michael Watterson, please.
Yes, hi, everybody. I have a couple of short poems that were published a couple of months back by Fleas on the Dog, publication out of Toronto. They're not really Halloween poems, although the first one is kind of bloody, or Samhain poems for Sean and Mary. The first one is kind of bloody. It's about Hemingway. The epigram is from The Old Man and the Sea. You are killing me, fish, the old man thought, but you have a right to. Never have I seen a greater or more beautiful or a calmer or more noble thing than you, brother. Big game. Up with the sun, grizzly-hearted deadeye, apex predator papa, forever thirsting for the rush of naked kinship with a beast in your sights, a heady mix of existential dread and godlike power, the same cocktail served up by a blank page. Those moments stuffed and mounted up on walls and between covers, whispered to your blood that every day bestows an empty cup, engraved with the same passage of survival. While fishing the abyss, angling for time, you tracked your soul down to the lair of terror and, stepping into your own crosshairs, bagged yourself, won at last with all your trophies. And the second one comes from an article I read a few months back in ArtNet News. The Italian Office of Tourism it has used artificial intelligence to turn Botticelli's Venus into a sort of virtual influencer as part of a tourist campaign. And the epigram is the headline for Martinet News. Art critics and government officials slam Italy's humiliating tourism campaign, turning Botticelli's Venus into an influencer. It's called Rebirth of Venus. No longer classical nude, but classy, clad in Gucci. She poses now, renewed by artificial intelligence, in Piazza San Marco for a selfie, still flaunting those iconic, impossibly undulate tresses. The goddess has come out of her shell as a viral influencer, the virtual face of Italian tourism. Guardians of culture brand her vulgar, heritage debased for the bottom line. From their perspective, commodifiers view Botticelli spinning in his grave as one more merchandising dynamo powering our globe-trotting postmodern world. And I guess you could say Venus is wearing a costume. So there you go.
Yeah, you could say that. I love that. The fish is killing me, but you have the right to thing. And it's so Hemingway. And about 6 months ago, I'm so bad with time. Somebody asked me, Glenn, I want to read Hemingway. What should I read? Right. And people just don't read anymore. And so I remember saying, well, you should read a longer piece, but start with The Old Man and the Sea, because if you like it, you'll like his other work, because it's a little slow, but it's so well written that you will either delight in that, or you will save yourself a lot of grief in picking up a larger work. I don't know if people would agree with that or not, but it's a short read, and it's a beautiful work. There are those little moments in classic literature that makes you want to read everything, right? Like in Moby Dick, when there's that line of there are walruses under the boat. I mean, that's a terrible example in such a short piece, but the way that it's worked in is so beautiful. And do we still write that way today? Who do we know that really, other than poets who write, do we know any fiction writers who maybe they're that really have that now? I don't know.
Contemporary?
Go ahead, Bob.
Contemporary, Glenn?
Yeah, contemporary. Right? I mean, we could go back and look at you could argue Fitzgerald and other people have this sort of this energy that just jumps off the page, but
I challenge you to go back and read John Dos Passos.
John Dos Passos. I do like a good challenge. Okay, let us move forward here to Robert Whalen, please.
I'm unmuted now.
There you are.
I wanted to wear the scariest costume I could because my kids, all four of them, were petrified of clowns. Okay. I always wanted to work in an establishment where someone came in a clown costume and I could say, "Get out of here, you clown." But at any rate, my poems are going to be somewhat somber. So let me go back to my alter ego. It's the time of year the holiday would be Samhain, and that's the title of this poem. The nights creep darker and longer. Home fires are left to burn out. Smoke from their smoldering cuts the breath as it chokes. There are no embers, just a toxic scent of smudge. A dumb supper divines future love. There's appetite for nothing. Bones are showing. Weight is lost. Numb hibernation could offer respite, but it's pained by the same dream. We no longer sleep together. I sleep alone on the futon bought for our first apartment and drift into liminal space. A huge tree grows from my chest, roots clutching my heart. It falls, leaving a gaping hole. Only a revenant remains as a bloodless eye socket, the stare of empty sight. A headless woman dressed in white chases the night, haunted by past ancestors, shaming the future. Tomorrow our children will be costumed as fairies, unaware of an underworld flame that devours houses, scars families. They will plead to run as beggars into an evening of tricks and treats. And I have another one here, also sort of the ancient spirit of the time. It's a sonnet, and it calls Who Washes the Body of the Dead? Who rinses them as was done when they were born? Who closes eyes and mouth as if in sleep? Is it calloused, hired hands or ones that mourn? Do they look with vacant faces or ones that weep? How committed one must be to do this task, to show such honor wrapped in tenderness? Or is it a distant loved one in a mask who coldly goes about an audience process? So much of our existence remains unnoticed. We have lost connection with its natural course, burying that on which we should be focused, embracing only joy, but not remorse. So foolishly, we only seek relief without realizing it's love that causes grief.
Wow.
Would it be a hassle if I read one more?
Oh, no,
Okay.
I don't think so. How many
all
people are
right.
shaking their fist at the screen right now? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, this one is called Shawnee. Fate's sundown is slowly approaching. Eve's shadow will merge into nightfall. The universe begins its encroaching, with dreamscapes becoming like recall. There, Shaunakees and Brehons inhabit the lands. Fili and mystics prophesize. Dark caverns are painted by fumbling hands, where philosophers seek with dark eyes. The province of vision belongs to the bard, whose knowledge is beyond most folks' ken. That gift is also a journey most hard, blurring the difference between now and then. Time is a tunnel that travels through space where mummers and shamans are guides. Masks and persona reveal one's true face, and lamps search the void where truth hides. The soul is a deep and perpetual sea that is lifted aloft by some wind, which skims across the surface of what seems to be, to then reign over the peaks of the mind. It starts in a place where it thinks it belongs. Poets exalt it while singing its name, and lands in a place where they sing different songs, not knowing this sea is the same. These insults are puddles reflecting insights. These insights are puddles reflecting the sky, professing to hold its expanse, a moment's observance by a singular eye, an awareness existing by chance. Thank you.
Thank you. Very well done. Getting high praise here from Bob, Carol, everyone. Very nice. Very beautiful.
Thank you all. Thank
I
you.
like the cadence with which you work through those pieces too. It's slow and thoughtful, and it really brings us with you, you know, when you read many, not so much in this group, but I do see a lot of people reading their work online where they just kind of like go through it real fast, you know, because they just don't, I don't know, if consider the reader as thoughtfully as you do, and sometimes I have a hard time following, but never with you. I always follow your work, I think, really carefully. I even pick up on what I think in my mind must be enjambments, because I have this weird brain after reading thousands of poets for decades that I sort of see the words when people read in my head, sort of look for those little enjambments. I see these little moments of spark, and it's just beautiful. Okay, Carol Lee, please.
Can you hear me?
There you are.
Hello?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
I can.
all right. Okay, thank you. Well, I didn't bring Halloween poems. I grabbed two that I have just found out in one day's time. I sent them out and they accepted them on the same day. That's a record for me. So it's for Intangience magazine, an online zine. Um, and thank you, Carol, for information about your book. This is called the Bonsai Master. Please do not touch the bonsai. Alarm will sound. You will not hear it, but he will know. It's a matter of synergy between a plant and its shaper. He spends long hours in the garden waiting for the moment to make one cut. But he will rise from his reverie, hood raised against the wind. He is out there all seasons, pouring the secrets of hidden worlds through his thinning fingers when he is not pruning. If you dare to touch the bonsai will tremble. You will not feel it, but the vibration will set his hand to falter just for an instant, and he will enter the garden to comfort the bonsai, knowing you have disturbed the universe. The Bonsai Master. Thank you. Thank you. And this is for the son of a very, very close friend of mine. His name is Trey, and this poem is for him. The purple ones spin the best, and a miniature world spins deftly as wing-like fingers and a tiny oval become for 1 second one, then a whir across the tabletop. We are transfixed, timeless motion, desperately seeking childhood's past, the child's some timeless future, and the hummingbird world of marble dreaming is the center of all our times crossed, the murmur of purple drawing all as it slows to one diminishing moment. The purple ones spin the best. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you very much. Good to have you here today, Carol.
Thank
And
you.
I hope to see you next month. Um, okay, so just before Sean starts, and Just want to make sure people don't just punch out before I say this. Next month, not necessary, but poems of thanks or gratitude or something. Okay. All right, Sean.
Thank you. Nice to see you all again. I got my first dose of COVID 2 months ago and was surprisingly sick. And as a result, I'm finding it very hard to stay awake these days. I spend a large amount of my time asleep. I'm getting there eventually. So if I nod off during this, just give us a little twinkle, I'll be fine. Anyway, nice to be here. And I'm going to read a tanka and then a haiku. The tanka has the word Halloween in it. So I thought, well, I have to do that. It's probably the only chance I'll ever get to read this one. So this is from A Patch of Earth, which is this is actually my father's grave in real life. Anyway, so this is untitled. It's a tanka. I'll read it twice. Is that okay? That's the way you do this, the tankas. Sparks to the heavens, to the gods, fireworks whistle for the dead's return. In the fires of Halloween, the glow of my father's face. Sparks to the heavens, to the gods, fireworks whistle for the dead's return. In the fires of Halloween, the glow of my father's face. Thank you very much. And we have this weird thing. Samhain is what we call Halloween in Irish, and then we have All Saints' Day the next day, followed by All Souls' Day. And all of it is to do with dead people returning, basically. So there's a reference to All Souls' Night, which is when we expect the dead to return very shortly, actually. So that's what I'm referring to there. So anyway, this is called the Hill of Crosses. And we finally arrived at the Hill of Crosses, having journeyed along through many tongues and landscapes, and lulled by the monotony of our travails, we were caught by its unexpected appearance, a solitary mound among mowed meadows all flat out and around it, a hillock swelled with 1,000, no 10,000 crosses. Their woods and metals rust and rot at their own pace, and here and there crosses of cloth or wool quiver and sway. Ours are a soft wool, young and downy, so they carry well and will, in but a few seasons, decline into nothing, as we will. That's what you said, as together we set out. That's what you said. And together we ambled the narrow pathways through the crosses, contoured our way up the hill to where you paused us, and you took out your cross. It's my time now, but not yours. Keep on to your cross and carry it back. I will wait for you. That's what you said. All Souls' Night, over my father's grave, the stars are shining. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice. Oh, and I appreciate the tanka, by the way. Really I like a good tanka here and there. And that's always fun. Okay, well, we'll see you all hopefully on November 25th at our next event. I hope you all have a good Thanksgiving if you're inclined to celebrate such a thing. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, and I'll stick around for a couple minutes if anybody has any questions.